what's kind of happened for all three of you, and maybe it's different for all three back home, that's kind of brought you to a place where you're thinking, we want to move, and we want to move to Portugal. I mean, because like you said, it's quite a daunting process. You did it without even visiting the place. There's the visa stuff, which can be frustrating, and the bureaucracy that can be frustrating. But like you said, it's worth it. It's been worth it. But what's happened before that's pushed you to make the move?
Yeah, well, I don't know. First of all, I would also say that there's a statistic out there, and I don't know the numbers, but it ain't for everybody. And a lot of Americans, a lot of expats do end up moving back. Yeah. I found that being here a little over a year and a half, that I have zero regrets, and I'm very happy here. But that's not everybody's experience. I think it's interesting that we're meeting on Independence Day.
Yeah, happy 4th of July. Yeah.
Yeah, and
we were recording this on 4th of July.
Things about independence in the United States that are changing, and why that might be one of my motivations for being here. It's not what it used to be. So I'm very grateful to be here right now with all that's going on in the United States. It's a very sad situation over there. Yeah. So, I'm just blessed to be here. Yeah.
I would say for us, a big motivator was the fact that we were about to have our first child, and we heard stories of, we had friends who had older children in the US, and I remember talking to one of my coworkers who had an older kid, and she was talking about the active shooter drills that she has to do with her kid, that their kid has to go through at school. They have to learn about what happens if a shooter comes into your school.
Bad guy drills, right? I think they call them bad guy drills.
And I just remember thinking that this is just ridiculous and crazy and sad that kids have to be exposed to this kind of fear and uncertainty and violence, potential violence. So I think that was a big motivator for us. Another thing for me is I think I've felt at various times in my life a little bit like I'm on a certain track, and it's this I can kind of see kind of where it's headed, and it's very predictable, and I have this desire to break out of that track. It happened when I was between high school and college. I took a gap year, and I didn't want to go right into college. I wanted to take a gap year and travel around, and in fact I traveled to Spain and not Portugal at that point in my life, because I just felt like the expectation, like the expectations that we all have in our lives, sometimes they harden, and it feels like you're kind of forced in a certain direction. And so I think that was another part of it for me, is I had a career that I was really happy with. I enjoyed a lot of the parts of my work, but I felt like I was being kind of forced in this one direction that I wasn't completely satisfied with. And so it was a way to sort of break out of that and try something new.
For me, I think all the issues can be summarized in the United States. Like, I'm thankful that I was born there, raised there, had a career there, because the United States is great at making money, and it places priority on money over everything else. Mm-hmm. Safety, family, and it all ties back to this, right? I want to have I don't want you to take away my gun rights, even though it's better for the community if we don't have all these guns. Yeah. I want to make money off of you being sick, even though it's better for the community that people aren't sick. So it all ties back to this, like, me and money over community. And I feel like Portugal is just really about community and less on the money. And for me, it's nice. I know it's a struggle for people who live here if you don't already have money. So that's why I'm saying it's nice that I came from the US, and I recognize that. I'm lucky I came from the US and I got the money while I was there. But then you get here and it's like, okay, now my priorities are not money. My priorities are community. And community and family is just like everything here. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.